Good morning, I'm Sarah Strackhouse. Thanks so much for joining us. And let's begin with Greg Morgan and a first look at this morning's forecast. Greg, thanks so much. A Midland family is thankful to be alive after their cabins were washed away by floodwaters. It happened this weekend to the Franks family at the 7A resort in Wimberley. The Blanco River near San Marcos rose nearly 35 feet in just under 3 hours. The family barely made it out in time.
I have a 7-month-old grandbaby, and that was the first thing that was on my mind, that I was going to get my family completely to safety. If I had to go straight up a mountain to do it, and I was going to take them to the highest point.
The Franks say that they plan to visit Wimberley to help the cleanup. Family members placed flags outside their Midland home to honor troops and welcome the family back home from the flooded area. And low-lying areas across Big Spring, Sam, flashed flooding yesterday morning. Take a look at pictures and video of flooded areas across the city. Residents report as much as 2.5 inches of rain, flooding parts of downtown and Comanche Trail Park. No words yet on whether there was any physical damage to the park. In 6 seconds, a tornado ripped through the border city of Ciudad Acuna, Mexico, with a ferocity that officials say hasn't been witnessed in more than 100 years. According to the Acuna mayor, at least 13 people were killed, including 3 children. Another 200 were injured. The scene, which sits right across from the border from Del Rio, showed cars blown upright with front bumpers on the ground and leaning against homes. The twister flipped over school buses and damaged about 400 homes. Officials said that records don't show such a powerful tornado hitting the city in more than a century. Mother Nature could not stop hundreds of bikers from making their way through the Permian Basin. Despite rain and hail, the 16th annual Ride to Remember was a go. Bikers gathered at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Midland to pay tribute to Memorial Day. Riders drove through Midland, then to Odessa before ending at the Andrews Veterans Memorial around noon yesterday.
There's a lot of soldiers that passed away that made the ultimate sacrifices so we could do this. This is the very least that we could do for them.
Fortunately, the weather did clear up before motorcyclists left Midland for Andrews. While many West Texans took the day to remember and honor the men and women who gave their lives for this country, many students hit the books due to severe weather. In the winter, both Ector County ISD and Midland ISD held makeup days. CBS 7 News spoke with parents that decided to keep their kids home for Memorial Day. United States Marine veteran Philip Jackson and his wife April, a U.S. Army veteran, kept their children home from school yesterday to uphold a family tradition to honor the fallen, including the loss of Philip's grandfather who served in World War II. Other parents said it will always be a day of remembrance.
A teacher cannot give our children the benefit of how we feel and the way their parents feel in remembering.
And that they're going to somehow be able to teach my kids better about how to respect and honor the people who fought and died for us. You just can't do it.
The Ector County Independent School District Public Information Officer Mike Adkins issued this statement on your screen. He said that the state did require them to make up a minimum of 2 days. They have made changes to next year's calendar, and Adkins says that they should not run into this problem again. With your eye on education, Permian High School seniors were in court for a mock trial at the high school. Led by instructor and attorney Gavin Norris, the students prepared cases as attorneys and witnesses for a murder and sexual assault trial. It was part of their final class project.
And the skills that the students got a chance to work on, synthesizing cases, getting facts, looking at an argument from both sides. So I think that was those skills we're trying to teach the students.
The students are graded on both the content of their arguments and their performance in court. With your eye on the nation, today the Justice Department will detail steps the Cleveland Police Department will take to address a pattern of excessive force and civil rights violations. The agreement comes just days after a judge declared a Cleveland police officer not guilty of manslaughter in the fatal shooting of 2 people, both of them black. Police had stopped the couple's car, and Officer Michael Brelo fired 15 shots into the vehicle. The verdict prompted protests and dozens of arrests. And 3 children are recovering after a water spout pushed an inflatable bounce house they were playing in and tossed it 20 feet into the air. The incident happened on a beach in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on Monday. The bounce house was part of a city-sponsored family activity zone set up for Memorial Day. And new motorcycle safety legislation has been approved in Texas. Supporters say that it was going to be discussed at the bikers meeting in Waco, where a deadly shootout erupted last weekend. The measure, which now heads to Governor Greg Abbott's desk, would funnel some of the state's motorcycle-related fees to the State Department of Transportation campaigns that remind motorists to share the road and look twice for motorcycles. 3 bikers who wrote the measure are among those jailed in Waco. Other men advocated for the legislation in place of those jailed in Waco, along with 170 others following the shooting that killed 9 people. A section of North Baird Street in Midland is closing permanently to make room for the new municipal court building. The permanent closure of North Baird Street will be between Illinois Avenue and Texas Avenue, according to the city of Midland. The road is closing for good today, allowing for construction of the new municipal court building. A new inflatable water park is opening this weekend in Midland. Tiki Island is holding their grand opening next weekend on June 5th. All proceeds will go towards the Boys and Girls Club of the Permian Basin. Chris Stonedale, who heads the organization, says that this benefit will help out a lot for the organization.
It's all about what we're doing here for the Boys and Girls Club and changing these lives. And you know, that's what it's all about. You know, these kids are the future of our, not just our community, but the future of our country. And we want them to be as successful as possible. And by giving them areas like the Boys and Girls Club where they have that community aspect, it thrives. And we're having a paradigm shift in the Midland community, and that's what it's all about.
Tiki Island will be set up at the Scarborough Sports Complex in Midland. Tickets can be bought online at tikiislandwaterpark.com. Now time for News of the Strange. Do you golf?
I do.
You do? All right.
Well, let me rephrase that. I attempt to golf.
Well, then this golf course may be for you. I'm a terrible golf. I enjoy golf, but I'm terrible.
Yeah.
So there's one golf course where even the worst golfer can make a hole-in-one.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
It's because there's 4 sinkholes they've opened up in a Missouri golf course. The biggest one is more than 70 feet wide. Experts believe an underground river or cave has caused the sinkholes. Crews there aren't sure yet how they'll fix the giant holes.
Look at the landscaping guys like, well, what do you want to do?
They're looking a little stumped. And golfers just seem to be playing around them.
Really?
Yep, that's what it says.
That's crazy. Okay.
Anyways, meet Big Buck, the giant kangaroo. Residents in one Australian neighborhood say he's been walking around giving neighbors the creeps. He's been spotted on playgrounds and golf courses.
He's a stalker.
Yeah, he's just chilling over there.
Oh, okay.
And look at this picture. It shows Corporal Caleb Earwood holding his bride's hand around a doorframe. Earwood wanted to pray for their marriage together before the ceremony on Saturday, but he didn't want to jinx things by seeing his bride Maggie before she walked down the aisle.
Aww.
That's great. So the two decided to take a moment together with the doorway in between them to block the view. Caleb and Maggie said their I do's in Asheville, North Carolina. The photographer says he felt lucky to be at the right place and capture the moving moment. That's great.
That goes in the news of the awesome category.
Yeah.
That's
not
really cool.
News of the strange. Yeah, I agree with that.
Wow.
For sure.
I've seen that a couple of times on Facebook, but I hadn't clicked on it to see what it was about. And oh, wow.
I've never seen that. That's
cool.
great.
That's great. All right.
Well,
so if you're hitting the golf course today.
Today might be the day to do it, right?
It would be. Because, I mean, you'll see a lot of sunshine. My son plays golf
Okay.
for the school. And so, you know, he wants me. I'm probably going to take him golfing. I do my best not to develop Tourette syndrome when I play golf.
I went to golf camp growing up, but then there was just a huge span where I just didn't golf. So I lost it.
I lost it. I never got it. Yeah, that's the way it worked. But if you are heading out to the course, whatever your outdoor activities are today,